Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our first lecture on a new course on our YouTube channel, and it is about microeconomics. This is for the elementary classes. In 11th and 12th, we start beginning learning about economics, and we study actually four courses at this during these 2 years. It is statistics, then we have Indian economy, we have microeconomics, and we have macroeconomics. Okay, and these courses are actually governed by two types of boards. One is NCERT, and the second is CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, and National Council of Educational Research and Training. So our intention in this course is to complete microeconomics as per the requirements of NCERT and CBSE. So, this is going to be our first lecture. And in the first lecture, obviously, what we need to understand and know when we are taking up economics is what is economics. This is but natural. The first thing that we need to understand when we are embarking, when we are going to study economics, is what is economics, what economics is all about, and what are some of the basic things that we need to keep in mind to understand the subject of economics. Okay, so we are going to deal with this very subject in this lecture. So to understand economics, we need to be conversant about three, four things. One is the term economics, obviously. What exactly does it mean? Then the other thing that we need to know about economics is that economics is called the study of scarcity, and it's also called the study of choice, or it can be called as the study of human behavior. Why is it so that economics is called study of scarcity, choice, and human behavior? From what perspective these names are given to it? These things are studied in economics. That is what we are going to discuss during the course of this lecture. Now, first, obviously, we have to deal with the term economics. Now, let's move to understand this very point. In economics, we usually do not use the word family. We use the word household. Instead of the word family, we use the word household. Okay, therefore, I have written H over here. H means household. Now, every household or every family has a particular amount of income. It is but natural, and obviously, they have to make expenditures to fulfill different uh, demands, or to fulfill different wants. They need to make expenditure. But usually what happens is that income is always, it is limited. We don't have limitless or unlimited income, but at the same time we have a lot of wants to fulfill, a lot of options before us to spend our income on. So we obviously have to make the choice, we have to make the selection on what thing are we going to spend our income that we have. So what at the end of the day we need to do is that we need to manage the things. We need to it is a sort of a management at the level of the family between limited income and a lot of wants that we need to satisfy, or we want to satisfy, and we have to make choices with regard to this, with regard to the expenditure. So this is the story of every household, that they have to make the choices with regard to what they are going to spend their income upon. And it is not only a matter, the case with the households only. Even for firms, the same is the case. Even for governments or different organizations, the same is the case. Because for every government, for every firm, for every household, every organization, income is limited. Therefore, they have to set up a money. They have to manage their expenditures accordingly. So this is something that which is very common between these institutions. Now, what it has to do with the term economics? See what it has to do with the term economics. Actually, the term economics comes from two Greek words. So these are Greek words, oikos and nemin. Oikos and nemin. What does oikos mean? It means household. It means household, and nemin means management. So actually economics is about management of the household. Economics is about management of the household, and it is these two terms from which this word has been developed. Economics, management of the household. So, why should we be managing the household? It is in the context of the income that we have and the expenditures that we have to make while trying to satisfy different wants that this household has before it. So, this is the reason why it is called economics, this is the reason economics means management of the household. Now, in some books, you find that economics comes from two words: eco, which means home, and nomos, which means account. So, accounting at the level of a family, at the level of the household, because you have income on the one side and you have expenditure on the other side, then you have to set proper accounting between them. You have to find out what to spend money upon and where from to get that very money. So, like in case of businesses, you have accounts. Similarly, we have accounts at the household level, at the family level. Now, this doesn't mean that we have accounts in the sense that we have a ledger, a book in which we keep on writing everything. No, it is not like that. But in the mind of the head of the family, obviously, in his mind, he knows what his income and expenditures are. So this is why it is named as economics. So economics is concerned with that very income, which is usually limited, and how we are going to spend our income. So this is the literal meaning of the term economics. So let us try to find out in more detail and depth why it is called so. See what the problem is. Obviously, we have different wants that we want to satisfy. We need food. We want clothes, good clothes. We may want vehicles, car. We may want a house. We may want a garden. We may want a business. We may want to go for a trip, and we may want to have different sorts of services, so on and so forth. So, if you are going to, these are our different wants that we want to satisfy. But to satisfy the wants, we need to have resources. For example, money. If we have money, obviously you can buy food, you can buy clothes, you can buy a vehicle, you can buy a car, or you can buy a house or a garden, or you can provide for yourself. No, you can set up a business or go for a trip or provide yourself with different sorts of services. So, what allows us to enables us to satisfy our wants is called a resource. It is the resource which allows us to which enables us to satisfy our wants. Similar, like the money, we have land, for example. Now on land we can grow food, we can build our house, we can set up a garden, and so on and so forth, or a business unit. So land is also a resource, so is money a resource. Similarly, we can say a factory is a resource, or natural resources we have. So all these no, entities or resources, resources enable us to fulfill our wants. So this thing is something which everyone of us know. But there's something very peculiar about wants and resources, specific about wants and resources, and it is that the main feature of wants is that wants are unlimited. So our wants are unlimited. If we are going to make a list of the wants, the things that we want in our life or services that we want in our life, it will be a very huge list. We can want anything for that matter which comes to our imagination. So our wants are generally unlimited, but at the same time our resources are limited. Limited means, for example, you have an income. We designate income by Y, okay, rather than I, because I means investment. With I, we designate investment. So Y means income. So our income is always limited, even if it is huge, but it is still limited. Similarly, land, in case of land, it is again limited. If we have land, availability of land is also limited. So is the case with natural resources, so on and so forth. So the point here is that while wants are unlimited, resources are limited. The other term that we use for limitedness of the resources is scarce or scarcity. So resources are scarce, or there is scarcity of resources that we face. So this is again very natural. Every one of us understands that we have limited income, but at the same time we want a lot of things in our life. As I said, we want food, we may want clothes, we want a car, we may want a house, we may want a bungalow, we may want a great business, or we may want to go for a trip, we may want different services, so on and so forth. A lot of things. So these are unlimited and these are limited. We understand this very point as well. Now, let's understand one more point. Wants are unlimited, but resources are limited or scarce. That why now we understand that very point. But at the same time, the resources that we have, though they are limited, but they have alternative uses. Now this is the alternative use, which is very important for us to understand here. Now what is alternative use? Now you have money, a limited money. You can put that money to use A, or to use B, or to use C, or to use D, so on and so forth. So you have limited money. You can't buy all these things. You can't do all these things. But there's a possibility that money can buy us. It can buy us A, it can buy us B, or it can buy us C, it can buy us D, but not all of them together. So our resource has got this alternative uses, different uses we can put it to. So this is one of the chief features of our resources. Despite being limited, so they have alternative resources. Now take the case of a patch of land, a piece of land. You can build a house in the land, okay, or you can no you can go for a business unit, or you can build a garden over here, or something else, okay. You can make a pond on this no, plot of land, or you can put it to agricultural use. Then in agriculture you can have different options. So obviously it is having alternative uses. It is having different uses. We can't do all these things together at the same time. We can put our piece of land to one particular use rather than putting it to all the uses simultaneously. It is not possible. So resources have alternative uses. Now these things are clear to us. Now we will come to the main point now. Main points. Why is economics called study of choice? Why it is so? See, we have wants which are unlimited. We have limited resources that have alternative uses. So obviously we have to make choice. We have to make choice which wants to fulfill. We are having different wants, so we have to make a choice which wants to fulfill among the different wants that we have. At the same time, resources can have different uses. So again, we have to choose which use should we put our resource to. So obviously, everywhere the choice is getting involved. So in economics, we are concerned with limited resources, unlimited wants and limited resources, which gives rise to the issue of choice. So that is why economics is called a study of choice. As we said, that economics actually means management of the household. And why should we be managing the household? Because we have limited income, but we have unlimited wants. Okay, therefore we have to make the choices. We have to manage the things rather than getting them all. This is not possible. It's not possible that we get all the things. We have to make the choice. Okay, so choice is very central to the concept of economics. It is the issue of choice that we study in economics. Okay, how human beings make this choice now. What are the factors that are prominent, that are important while we make our choices? What are the patterns on which our choices are based, so on and so forth? All these things we study in economics. Now let's move to another thing. Unlimited wants on the one side, limited resources on the other side. So obviously it gives rise to the issue of scarcity. So if you want to buy, for example, you want to buy car, obviously, or you can't buy too many cars. It depends upon how much your income is. It depends upon the income. So our resources are limited. They give rise to scarcity, and this scarcity is central to the concept of economics. Had there been no scarcity, no limitedness of the resources, there would be no economics at all, because in economics we study how human beings end up managing the things, how human beings make choices, and choices only arise because of the issue of scarcity. So scarcity is also central to the subject of economics, therefore it is called as study of scarcity. Let's move to one more point. Now, as I said, scarcity actually gives rise to choice. Had there been no scarcity, there would be no choice. So let's move to one example which tells us that what exactly does this choice, these alternative uses, and scarcity actually mean. See, if you have a limited income, for example, your income is 2000 rupees, and you can buy with that income you may buy books which cost 2000 rupees, for example, or dollars, then clothes again 2000, then shoe 2000 worth shoe, then food, it also costs 2000. So obviously you have to make a choice. Now, why you have to make a choice? Because your resource is scarce. There's scarcity of resource. You have only, had you 8000 rupees, okay, you could buy all the four, but still you can only buy these four, not more than that. So you have income which is limited, for example 2000, therefore you have to make a choice among the alternatives that you have in front of you. You have four alternatives and you have to make a choice. So you have to make choice, and your resource has got alternative uses. You can buy different things from it, you can put it to different use. Okay, so therefore these choice and alternative uses and scarcity terms become clear through this example. So this is what we try to understand in economics, how these things are happening, what are the factors that are important while understanding the choice or alternative uses or scarcity, etc. What do they do, and why these things are important. These things are what we study in economics. Now let's move to one of the final points of this lecture. Economics is study of human behavior, but why should we be studying behavior, and or how is economics study of human behavior? Now we know we have unlimited wants, we know we have limited resources, and this gives rise to the issue of choice. There's scarcity, and scarcity gives rise to the choice. Now you have to make choice. What does it mean? It means that you have to decide, you have to make decisions. Now once you make decision, your behavior gets revealed, right? And consistently, when you keep on making decisions, your behavior from that perspective is revealed. So once we study choice, that means we are studying actually the decision making on your part, on part of a consumer, on part of a producer, or even the government. Well, they are making their decisions with regard to limited income and unlimited wants in front of them. Therefore we are at the same time studying human behavior of consumers, producers, so on and so forth. So we are also studying behavior of human beings, human behavior in economics. Therefore, we can very well say that economics is the study of human behavior, because we are studying scarcity, which gives rise to choice, which gives rise to human decisions, which tells us, reveals human behavior, tells us about human behavior. So I hope that the four things that we needed to study, these are clear. Now let's take a very short definition of economics, a description of economics, what economics is all about. Economics is a study, obviously it's a subject, that's why you are studying right now economics. Okay, it's a subject, it's a study. Now what do we do in this study? A study of how we make choices. Now in this study, or in this subject, we study how human beings make choices. How human beings make choices. So it is about the making of choices on part of human beings. What are the factors that are important, that are involved, so on and so forth, we study in economics. In the face of scarcity, why we have to make the choices? Because we are confronted with a scarcity. Had there been no scarcity, there would be no need to make management, go for management of our of our wants, to make selection between different wants, to choose from the alternatives that would never be needed. It is only scarcity which gives birth to the issue of, which gives rise to the issue of choice. We say that economics is the study of how we make choices in the face of scarcity. So, this is what we do in economics. And I hope that you have understood the term economics, management of the household, because limited income on one side, other side, we have to make different expenditures. Then we have to manage the things over here. Then it's called study of scarcity. Obviously, you have limited resources, and you can't do all the things. All things cannot be, all wants cannot be fulfilled. Therefore, this is the issue of scarcity. It is also called the study of choice, because you have to make choice. In case of wants, you have to find out which want to fulfill, and in case of the alternative uses of the resources, you have to find out what use you are going to put a resource to. And finally, it is study of human behavior, because we study choice. Because of scarcity, choice is about making decisions, what to get and what not to get, where to spend our income, where to get our income from, so on and so forth. Then it reveals human behavior. Okay, not every aspect of human behavior, but one of the aspects of human behavior is therefore studied in economics, which is related with the resources and use of resources, fulfillment of wants, so on and so forth. I hope in today's lecture you have understood all the basic things about economics, and the introduction, our introduction in this regard is therefore complete. And I hope that you will subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ernest Economics. Thank you very much.